Hello everyone, this is Cody Lee of BlackCatBooks.org, author of I, the Dragon, Cruel and Beautiful, Rabbit Hole, and King Dio. And with the recent confirmation that Chainsaw Man is getting an anime, is coming to the big screen, is going to be fully in motion, I have once again noticed the weird kind of, I don't know how to describe this, the weird kind of like contrarianism among the anime crowd, among the manga community, because we see this every time, right? We see this every time something major gets animated, from like Attack on Titan, I think, was an example of this. We saw this happen. I've heard of a couple of high profile manga adaptions that got this kind of treatment, but every time a series that gets some kind of like major cult following, or a really popular series gets adapted, like, you're always going to see a bunch of delusional fucks coming out of the woodwork trying to say that, like, oh yeah, it's not that great, the series isn't that good, I wouldn't bother, I would do something else. I don't understand this mindset, because, like, every single time I've seen this happen, I've noticed this happen. The series has turned out great. Not only was the anime top-notch, the manga was too. And being a big fan of Chainsaw Man, I've read all the volumes that are currently on Kindle. I believe there are 6 of them. Probably one of my all-time favorites. Like, I legit, like, out of all the manga I've read so far, Chainsaw Man is probably the one that I think has had the most impact on me, like the most appeal for me, right? From an action standpoint, from a character drama standpoint, from a, I just think it's incredible stuff, like, just impeccable, like, the most well-executed manga I think I've ever read. Now, of course, as I've read along, I've started kind of developing some problems with it. Like, yeah, I think some aspects of the manga might actually have been, could have been handled a little bit differently. But all in all, like, I think it's probably my favorite manga ever. Like, in spite of those nitpicks, in spite of those complaints, that, like, yeah, maybe they could have kept some of these characters alive longer, or maybe they could have fleshed out some of these new characters more, or maybe they could have done this, maybe they could have done that. Super hypothetical things. Like, overall, I'm a really big fan of the series, really big fan of the manga, and will continue reading it, and will actually am excitingly anticipating the anime adaptation. But seeing people try and, like, rail on it for no real reason, it just kind of makes me laugh. Like, this has to be the manga equivalent of just shitting on games for getting, like, Nintendo ports, right? Shitting on games for doing certain things, or being in certain genres, or being made by certain people. Like, it's just elitism coming from a group of people who have no business, like, declaring themselves, like, the elite. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel as if people, like, criticizing Chainsaw Man or One Punch Man or Attack on Titan really know what they're talking about. Like, I really don't. Like, I remember hearing back when Attack on Titan, like, first came out, how people were, like, complaining about, like, Eren turning into a Titan. Like, oh man, that's not what I signed up for. That's not what I thought would happen. That's not what I'm interested in. I wanted it to be darker. I wanted Attack on Titan to be darker. Yeah, I wanted it to be darker. I wanted to be a more adult. I wanted them to do this and that and that. And then what happened? Like, the series continued gaining in popularity, continued, like, really expanding on these ideas to the point where, like, the series concluded, I think, if my knowledge is correct, very, very well received, right? Like, people liked Attack on Titan in spite of these nonsense complaints that were prevalent from the very beginning. That's what I think is happening to Chainsaw Man right now, is that, like, a bunch of people who can't handle the fact that, like, Chainsaw Man is bigger than, JoJo or whatever, Chainsaw Man just being, the new popular thing, just attacking it because it's popular, not because it's a legitimately well-made manga that's, like, gaining fans all the time. They're just attacking it because it's popular. There's no other reason for it. There are no real criticisms. Like, people don't have a real problem with Chainsaw Man, but they will continue attacking it just because it's popular. And by that metric, like, you can't take these people seriously. I don't respect them. I don't listen to them at all. I'm going to read the manga and continue talking about it. I think Chainsaw Man is great, and I am very much looking forward to the upcoming anime adaptation.